It's expensive to live in Seattle, and I always like to know how people afford to live where they live. So I'll give you a little peek into how I afford to live in Seattle as a 30 something who works in marketing. Part of the reason why I'm able to afford trips and just live the life that I have is because I don't have any debt. I've been debt free since 2020. I paid off my car in 2020, and then my student loans were paid off in 2018, 2019. I was aggressively paying the car note off. So I was paying $500 a month, and then I was paying $300 a month on my student loans. Once those were cut out of my budget, I had so much more money. Surprise. Now, I do have a couple of things working for me as well. I live with a partner, and when I was living in Nashville, my rent for a studio was around $1,500 a month. And I rent a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house with my boyfriend, and I pay around $1,700 a month. So, yeah. And considering a 1 bedroom in Seattle and across various parts of the US, it's like 2,000 for a 1 bedroom. I'd say I got a pretty good deal on that, and that gives me some extra wiggle room in my budget. For exercise, I don't go to a gym, but I do pole. So I go to a pole studio and I pay around 140 bucks a month for that. I do get my nails done. It's about $37 for the removal and like to get new gel every month. And I don't do it all the time. I probably get my nails done once or twice a quarter. Twice if I'm going on a trip. I do like to have my nails done since I'm pretty rough on them. Let's talk about food because I like to eat out every once in a while, but I really don't go crazy. I eat pretty much if I'm cooking at home, which is most of the time, I eat the same meals pretty much every week. And that's boring to most people, which I understand, but for me that keeps it in a reasonable budget for myself. And then I go out probably on an average week, probably once a week, either on a Saturday or a Friday night with my boyfriend, and we take turns with who pays for the meals. Unfortunately, it is really expensive to eat out in Seattle and to buy groceries. So I spend around $300 a month on groceries, and then I budget 200, 250 to 300 if it's like a month where I know I'm going to go out and eat a lot. Like in summertime, I budget a little bit more because I want to be out with the people. Another shocker when I moved here was how expensive gas is, and that has really not gone down since I moved here. But I roll again. I work remotely, so I don't take in that extra cost of driving to and from the office since I work from home. So yeah, I'm relatively boring. I have some fun things that I save for. I live within my means. I don't have debt. I live with a partner, so I save that money. And then most of the money that I save is either going into my 401k, my Roth IRA, or to a trip. So yeah, I save, I sit at home, I enjoy my rent.